Alright friends, welcome back to the channel. My name is Kristen and this is Growing Zone 9B. I just got off of work. It's actually pretty warm out here today for sure. I think we're probably in the 90s, and of course a plane's going over, nothing unusual there. Still spreading the chemtrails, even though it has been signed by our governor that there will be no more chemtrails, but you know that's going to take a while to actually go into effect. So today we have had our first American Pope elected, and that is very interesting. I don't find that to be coincidental. I think that that's just the sign of the times, my friends. So keep aware of your environment, keep aware of what's going on in the world. Make sure that you are paying attention to these things. It is very important. All right, behind me we have the cucumbers. The cucumbers are actually starting to come in. I've got some squash over here. I have been leaving this top open now that the squash have and the cucumbers have kind of come in to their own, so to speak, and I'm not as worried about them getting bored into. There is always that possibility that they are going to have that happen to them. But Luna's running around right in front of me. But you know, for now I think we're doing pretty good. So let's talk a little bit about the tariffs, right? We want to be doing a couple of things, items that we need to be stocking up on. There's sweet Luna, you can kind of see her. Yeah, you're a good girl. All right, so one of the things that we want to be, yeah, I know, everybody loves you. All right, so one of the things we want to be kind of stocking up on is medical supplies. Make sure that we have our medical supplies, things like Band-Aids, if you need masks. I don't know that anybody needs masks, but you might need some masks, some rubber gloves or vinyl gloves. Make sure that you've got paper tape if you know anybody that's allergic to actual latex. Make sure that you have even your toothbrushes, toothpastes, deodorants, soaps. Keep all those things in mind. Alcohol, peroxide. Those are just a couple of things that I could think of off the top of my head that you might actually need. So that's a really good thing to, oh, you know, stuff like Benadryl in case somebody gets bit by something or stung. You'll be able to have the Benadryl. Always have, here in Florida we have a lot of allergies, you know, from pollen and whatnot. So make sure that you have some Claritin or something like that on hand, whatever it is that you need. But in the meantime, there is a book if you want to go the natural way. This is Barbara O'Neill's natural remedy book. It has like at least I think 100 remedies in here. Oh yeah, look, 800 natural remedies. I'm way off. Like, there's so many remedies in here. Friends, this is a good book to keep on hand. It's literally got quite a bit of stuff. It talks about sleep and you know, it's a little bit wonky to read. I'm not gonna lie, this isn't my favorite book, honestly. You can kind of see how it's like written out. It's very strange. Like, it just tells you kind of what to do, but you don't really see. I like pictures. I'm a picture person. I like to see like what these people are talking about, but there's no pictures in here. It's not really to me, it's not just like a fun read. It's just like, oh, let me see what's going on. Okay, measles number 544, you know, menopause 550. Like, it goes through a whole list of stuff and just kind of like the basics of what to take. It's like, take red clover, make tea from red clover, and I mean, it's just like very basic, like you know, just little bleeps of stuff. So you can always go the natural way. So I do encourage that as well, but a lot of times we don't think we're in stressful situations, and so that's why I say, you know, make sure you have some stuff. In alcohol, you can actually use like liquor. If you've really got something that you need to clean out or whatever, you can always use that. So we like to keep alcohol on hand. You know, for cooking, you guys have seen me do, which I've got to do some more right now. We got some bourbon, and so we're going to be making our own vanilla again. I've already been using the bourbon vanilla, so make sure that you've got some of that on hand, because you just never know when it might be beneficial for you to have. All right, be thinking about things for the holidays. I know that I don't want you guys spending a lot of money, so as adults you all need to come up with your own plans, But you know, a lot of people don't need to be spending a ton of money this year on holiday gifts. I think we all need to just kind of recognize where we're at. We are potentially headed into a Great Depression. I feel like we already kind of are in one. We just haven't realized it yet. I think more people are going to be losing their jobs. So to me, food is going to be really important. I think having things like the garden behind us. Pumpkin, stop. She's over there eating and ripping out my green beans. Stop it. This is why Pumpkin has issues with digging, and I've got to break her of this bad habit. But anyway. So maybe you need to be doing stuff like canning. So start getting all your canning supplies together, anything that you might need for canning. That's a good thing to keep on hand, and start doing that now, so that way it won't be too hectic on you come the holiday season. All right, holiday decorations. Like I said, this year I'm kind of like, I don't really think that that's necessarily a priority. But these are items that, again, you would probably see come from China or, you know, just not really in the Americas. I think that we kind of need to go back to, like I always tell you, the Amish way of thinking, which is maybe you need to be having like wood ornaments, go to a consignment shop, or think about, you know, maybe working with a family member that has a lot of holiday ornaments that maybe they're not using, if you want to do that. I just like a plain tree personally. Another airplane. I just like a plain tree. So to me, I'm not like, I don't need that. Just, I have this past year, as you guys know, I got an artificial tree, and I think that that's been kind of the best decision for us as we move forward through the holiday season. It's not really a priority for me. All right, kitchen basics. Make sure that you have things like measuring cups, spatulas, food containers, things to store food in. Make sure that you've got all your glass jars, stuff like that, if you want to do canning and all that kind of stuff that you might need for canning and measuring. That's really important to have. You want to have knives, forks, spoons, all that stuff. You know, make sure that you've got grocery supplies, you know, apparel. Think about things we've talked about, shoes and Nikes and all that stuff. Everything has escalated in cost, and so we know that's going up. Also, don't forget about your pets. Pet supplies are really important. Make sure that you have leashes, collars. Make sure all your pets have, you know, their names in case they get lost, they can find you. I see that all the time. On our ring, they're always like, hey, do you know whose pet this is or where this pet belongs? Those are really like important things that you don't want to have to be spending extra money on, and make sure that your pet has all that they need. Also, if you don't know how to do canning, make sure that you find yourself, I love Amish, the Amish way. I really think that that's just a lifestyle that we've kind of lost track of. This is a really decent book to have. It's not my favorite book, but it's really large. It's got nice large text, and I think it's great that it gives you like summer salsas, things that you can be making, usually stuff that you can find in the garden, cabbage and cauliflower, chow chow, ground cherry preserve, red onion marmalade, cantaloupe and vanilla jam, stuff that, you know, just isn't your average recipe. I think you will find in this book. You can find this book at Amazon, just like you can find the Barbara O'Neill book. So here it is. I will probably try to post it somewhere in the bottom of the YouTube video for you guys, so that you guys have it. But again, here it is. Simple things that you guys need to be stocking up on. I've always said, if the internet went down, what would you all do? Make sure that you've got your books, and you've got things that you can rely on, because your phone may not be available. I got a really nice phone case. I dropped my phone in the lake. I think I told you guys about that. I dropped my phone in the lake, and so I had to get a new case for it. It just got wet. It was like a leathery case, and so this is my new case, and Jesus is actually in the background running after the lamb. And honestly, that's what I feel like sometimes. I feel like the lost lamb, and the only thing that's going to save me at this point is Jesus. So, you know, we all need that in our life, and everybody has their own relationship with the higher power. And that's another thing to keep in mind during these trying times, is to have a spiritual connection. Miss Luna is just out here panting like crazy. What are you doing, you silly girl? All right, so hopefully we're gonna be getting a bunch of cucumbers because I cannot wait to be doing some pickling for this holiday season. I can see that there's a lot of like pickles or cucumbers coming up that we can be pickling. So I'm hoping by leaving this open that it's going to be beneficial for us this year. Don't forget you can be pickling, you know, things like broccoli stems, cabbage stems, cauliflower stems. A lot of people don't think about those things, so make sure you're doing that. You can also do canning and preserving of squash and zucchinis. You don't have to drop everything in the freezer. Also think about getting something like the sun oven. I know that's really an expensive item, but first of all, people do not smell what you're cooking. So I think that that's really important. And you know, if you can, grow some things like pumpkins or squash that have a long shelf life, like Seminole pumpkins here in Florida. That's a really nice thing to be growing. And while you know, it's not necessarily the sweetest thing, you can, you know, make sure you've got your sugars and stuff, or something like some cinnamon, something that you can add some flavor to. Don't forget you can add basil to that. You can actually make pumpkin tacos. We do that sometimes here. We make tacos, we dice up the pumpkins and just kind of roast them. So there's all kinds of ways that you all can be thinking about changing your diet, changing the way that you're consuming food, and being more self-reliant here at your homestead. Here for us, we are creating ways to become more self-sufficient so that we are not dependent on the grocery store. Again, it has been talked about in the news that the grocery stores could become, their shelves could become empty, and I don't want anybody to be caught in a position where they are feeling the pressure of that. So think about getting a green stalk. This Mother's Day is coming up, you know, and I know that right now they're having a Mother's Day sale on the green stalks. While the green stalk is not for me personally, I have these large beds. I did give one to my mom and she loves it, she enjoys it. I also got my mom a grow bed for her birthday, so we are still working that process out and getting that ready for her. And yeah, so you know, there are so many things out there that we can be doing, and that's really what this video is about today, is just to make sure that everybody is doing what they can to stay safe, protect themselves. Make sure you've got protective items in your home, on your person, if need be. You know, make sure that you've got a plan if your vehicle does not start for some reason or whatever, and it's an in-time type situation. Thankfully, I live, you know, fairly close to where I work, and so I don't have to worry about that. You know, make sure you've got bicycles or means of transportation. So just food for thought, things that you all need to be thinking about as we move into the just unknown world right now. Things are just so crazy, and the best we can do, as always, is just be praying for our new Pope, be praying for our future, and you know, definitely keep up with that positive love and positive energy. As the late great Whitney Houston would say, you know, that higher love, right? And so we got to be keeping up with that. And who doesn't love Miss Whitney? I mean, if you don't love Miss Whitney, get off my channel right now. Like, all right, friends, until next time, love one another, be kind, and I will see you guys real soon. I got to get Miss Luna in the house. She's saying it's too hot for us out here. So, make sure you got some sunscreen and you got some hats and things like that if you are out on the water or enjoying the sun here in Florida. All right, I'll see you guys real soon.